corporation that owns land on an inactive domestic military range? Have you ever manufactured ordnance that may be buried beneath poor little Timmy's playset? Are you a private citizen fearful of a Civil War era bomb sitting in your backyard? Or how about a government official such as law enforcement or a staffer at the EPA? Does your utility company want to put in a new gas or water line but are afraid to set off yet another bomb? Are you a part of a military or want to leave a slightly lesser impact after leaving that war-torn area? Then do we have a solution for you?
Hello, my name's Barry Amsway, but my friends call me B Amsway. I'm the founder and CEO of Bombsway, a company dedicated to making money off of dangerous perils of unexploded ordnances. In the US, unexploded ordnances poses a major public health risk of thousands of domestic inactive military ranges, with individual ranges covering large square mileage. The unexploded ordnance goes back as far as the Civil War, with degradation over years increasing in sensitivity to disturbances. The EPA estimates that unexploded ordnances in the US would require the largest environmental cleanup ever, costing at least $14 billion. Cleanup is also very dangerous. Did you know that a 1,100-pound bomb from World War II buried in Germany detonated and killed 3 people? Wouldn't want that happening to your family? We want to be able to detect unexploded ordnances in domestic inactive military ranges and past war zones reclaimed by civilians and prevent injuries and loss of life during its use at our site. Our system can carry out this task in a manner that is more efficient, thorough, and cost-effective than any other existing methods.
Hello there, my name is Mr. S.A. Leesman, the Chief Advertiser for Bombs Away. We hold ourselves to the highest standard of excellence here at Bombs Away. After careful discussion with 4 of our most brilliant junior-level aerospace engineers who happened to be eating lunch in the break room on Friday, we devised needs we believed our stakeholders would have. Our needs came about by assuming we will only need to discover the unexploded ordnance and not detonate it. We turn these need statements into functional and performance requirements, which include: the system will detect ordnance with a 95% success rate. The system will detect the exact location within a 1-meter radius. The system will identify the correct type and ordnance 98% of the time. The system will identify the location of the ordnance within 0.25 meters in any direction. The system will react to a warning and have an identification system on the scene within 48 hours. The subsystem for landmines should be designed, manufactured, and deployed for less than or equal to the cost range actually estimated by the Red Cross of between $300 and $1,000. The diffusion system will be able to fit within a size envelope of 100 cubic meters.
Pleased to meet you. I am on the go. I narrate all those mesothelioma commercials on TV, and I also represent Bombs Away in all legal matters. Our engineers spent a substantial amount of time analyzing the risks and possible failures involved with this system, because we don't want to get sued. And of course, we care about how reliable our system is. As you can see by this risk assessment, we have no risks that are catastrophic and probable. Most of our risks can be managed through redundant subsystems and backup checks. Perhaps our biggest possible risk we analyzed were false positive identification and false negative identification. A false positive ordnance identification just makes the system take more time to search the area, as it thinks there's ordnance where there really isn't any. A false negative, however, is much more dangerous. If our system failed to identify the location of some ordnance, then we would fail our requirements and incorrectly mark the area as safe. We definitely did not want that to happen.
Greetings, my name is Dr. Einstein Newton Edison, and I am the program manager at Bombs Away. Our interns and junior engineers went through hundreds of hours of brainstorming sessions to develop ideas to solve this explosive issue. We made sure they used prior art searches as well, to make sure and make use of ideas already thought of that existed in the public domain, Here are some of those neat ideas now. We use the highly advanced Pew matrix to compare our concepts and select the best one to develop. Each concept was qualitatively scored for our various success criteria against a reference concept, and the scores were totaled together. As you can see here, the ground robot and UAV concepts were the highest scoring ideas. We moved on to the quantitative portion and decided to combine the ground robot and UAV systems into one idea that could also be compared. The ground robot combo came out with the highest weighted score. No surprise to anyone there. The final concept we decided to develop is the UAV and ground drone combination, which will locate ordnance using LWIR, GPR, and chemical detection systems and other sensors. The UAV will perform a preliminary scan of the area, and then the ground robots will investigate areas of interest and pinpoint the location of each ordnance, whether it is buried underground or on the surface. We ultimately decided that most of the system's technology would not need to be patented, but rather the idea of a combined integrated system could be patented instead.
One important lesson our team has learned is the importance of not choosing a solution designed right away. Our initial idea was to have a system that could detect and defuse the bombs, but our focus shifted to only detecting the ordnance. This has impacted the design process, with our system having a more specialized role. We could focus on making better requirements that reflected this new path. Choosing a solution at the beginning of the process could also introduce bias, and some of our engineers may not have been keen to move away from ideas that they would have grown fond of. Another lesson learned is letting the criterion and weighting choose the design and not trying to pick a design to fit the scope. The criteria and weighting should move the design process and not the qualitative will of the engineers. The weighting will show what is most important in the criteria, and if followed and designed around, will deliver an outcome superior to competitors while still being a sufficient solution for the problem statement. But overall, we learned what it takes to be a team, and more importantly, a family.
Family.
Should we do it? Do we like that one or not? I like it.
Sorry.
My name is Dr. Einstein Newton Edison, and I'm the program.
My name is Barry
Greetings. My name
I'm dedicated to making money.
Greetings. My name is